Welcome back, everybody, to another Micro Reflections of the 21st Century. SENSORY. There's quite a sensory overload out there, isn't there, my friends? This digital onslaught of media, everyone grasping for power, just all this stuff getting thrown at us at all times. How fast the world is moving, how fast technology is moving. It can be challenging to keep up with. I just spent some time on the East Coast with my family. Some of my longtime friends I've known for 25 years. It's amazing I still have those friendships. I mean, they're like soul connections. And my best buddy, Mr. Bo Keating, he's a wise man. He broke it down. Like, you know, if I think of it as a pointing system, Brian, if I have 100 points in my head, right, every day that I'm only allowed to have in there, I know 50 of them right away, bam, are going to my family, my wife and my 3 beautiful daughters. They're like almost 7, 5, and 3 collectively. And 50 of those points go right there. Then the other 50, he's like, I have a business. Okay, so 25 of that goes to the business, because if I don't have the business, I'm not making the money. I don't, can't support my family and the life that we've, grown accustomed to. Okay, and then maybe there's 25 points just for me left over. Okay, and 25 of those points, for me, need to go to my well-being, right? My mental fitness, my inner disposition, my physical health. And he does a lot of CrossFit. He's a CrossFit coach and has a great gym on his property for the community, and he offers a free place to go and work out and work on yourself. And he's like, if I don't have that, I don't have my sobriety. If I don't have my sobriety, then I don't have a job and I don't have my family. So that's pretty slim margins, okay, that I'm running with. So if I use 15 of those 25 points allowed for me, the other 10 might go to what? Maybe working on another business, a project, being of service, right? And, so it was a really, really enlightening conversation. Thank you, buddy. Love you. And it made me think of this passage here, working on your inner disposition. And that could be part of it, is having, a pointing system in your head, or data points, or bandwidth, whatever you want to call it. And time is very limited. And where are we putting our time? So if you like hearing these breakdowns of these passages, I just simply riff on these. These passages were written during a weird new world of COVID about 3 years ago, just handwritten out, a bunch of notes, and I compiled them all together. Thank you to my wonderful partner, Jessica, who said, you should put that in a book. And I started writing it in a Google Doc, and I was formatting it, and I was like, man, this looks pretty cool. Wow. And sometimes we just don't know what we're capable of, and I've always wanted to write a book. So it's a simple, humble little book. Actually have sold a few in Europe and Australia through the online book publisher that I sent this off to, and it's pretty cute when you see a royalty check come in for like $3, $6. It's like, oh, people are buying it. I didn't set off to be a New York Times bestseller, right? Anything like that. It's just it's part of being of service to humanity. That's how I see it. So let's get on with some of the housekeeping things. If you like this, you can click on the link below, schedule a call with us. You can learn about our 90-day journey back to you. which are our microdosing program, and we teach a lot of these concepts. We simplify a lot of these concepts. We break down these concepts into frameworks in a weekly community gathering meeting hosted by me and our other customers that are in there, offering tips, tricks, procedures, and things that work for them in their microdosing practice. 90-day supply of our microdosing products, a micro tracker, a food for thought recipe book, all types of epic value in our free microdosing community, which has over 500 members right now. Where I think we've crested 550. So a lot of value there, everybody. Your success is our success. We are not your just typical supplement company where it's like, buy from us, see you later, hopefully you buy again or another time or get you on a subscription. It's like we're very vested in your success, and we offer a 100% money-back guarantee after 90 days if you're like, dude, none of that worked. Nothing worked. I am still, in my thoughts, I am still, haven't really made any shifts in my life on one condition. You have to get on a weekly call for 30 minutes with me for 4 weeks straight until we get it to click. Something's going to click. And we want it to click. So work on your inner disposition. Isn't it tiring always trying to rearrange external circumstances to satisfy your internal environment? Bam, just right in your face. That one is huge. I live a lot of my life and preach a lot of philosophy around that one statement, which I'm going to get back to. Plant the flag. Something will always be out of place with the master plan of the universe. Remember, we talked about the universe has other plans, and being conditional in an unconditional universe is not the way to go. A better use of time is try. Be self-disciplined and control your mental outlook on life so you can adapt to changing circumstances. This is cultivating the freedom of choice in the present moment, which allows us to intuitively manage situations that would previously have baffled us. Fostering the knowledge when our day begins that at some point a person's actions or a situation will not go according to plan is the most productive use of the time given to us. Accept these challenging circumstances as they happen while working on developing new intuitive experiences in the moment. And let go of any reactive states of mind, for that is the unresolved past trying to repeat itself. And quote by Stephen Covey, every human being has 4 endowments: self-awareness, conscience, independent will, and creative imagination. These give us the ultimate human freedom, the power to choose, to respond, to change. Love that one. I feel that ties this whole passage in. There's a lot of juice in here to be squeezed out in this one page. So I might just spend most of the time on this first sentence. Isn't it tiring always trying to rearrange external circumstances to satisfy your internal environment? To control everything, to control outcomes, to control what people say, okay? To fit some, unmet need within us, okay? And I see a lot of that in identity politics. I see it a lot in, these pronouns and always having to feel safe, and everyone around you is, supposed to say the right things and do the right things and not do the wrong things. And I look at it like this. I am a recovered alcoholic and drug addict, a gratefully recovered one after 10 and a half years. I did a lot of work. I worked on my inner disposition. I had many other people that worked on their inner disposition help me, but I do not go around in this world and say, you should not drink around me. Mr. Manager, Mrs. Manager, at this restaurant, people should not be drinking near me. You should not have a bar, okay? The social mixer that I might attend for a professional event that is serving free beer and wine, I do not tell those people to not serve free beer and wine around me because I am a recovered alcoholic and addict, and that is making me uncomfortable, and it's going to make me drink, and I do not feel safe here. Wrong. And I'm very firm on that, everybody. And if that is not agreeable with you, that is okay. Okay? That doesn't make me a misogynist. It does not make me a privileged white man. It does not make me a non-compassionate human being. I have plenty of compassion for others, and if you're living your life a certain way, you can live your life a certain way. Don't expect me to live my life a certain way so it meets the needs that you're not fulfilling within your life. That is like me going around and telling everybody that they should not drink and use drugs because I don't agree with that. We've lost our way, friends. Isn't that tiring to rearrange external circumstances to satisfy your internal environment? It's exhausting, and I see it. And maybe you all see it too. And maybe some of you just don't say anything about it. That's okay. We're not meant to be complacent while we are on this earth. Something will always be out of place. That is the grand master plan of the universe. Something will always be out of place, whether that is external or internal. And it is our responsibility and our self-agency to accept what is out of place of the external and bring radical acceptance to that and do the very best we can to work on our internal environment or our inner disposition. So a better use of our time is to be self-disciplined and control our mental outlook on life without pointing fingers, without blaming, without indemnifying. Okay? And just accept. And this is cultivating the freedom of choice. Okay, so I won't go too much into the freedom of choice. If you want to learn more about that, I actually have a piece of content coming out on Instagram about the freedom of choice. And sometimes that freedom of choice we don't really have the freedom. So if we are constantly, think of it like this, if we are constantly trying to change external circumstances to meet our internal needs, to satisfy them, do we really have choice? Are we really have freedom? Do we really have freedom of choice? It sounds to me like we're in prison. And I think it is unreasonable to have those expectations. It's like being in a jail cell with a key around your neck. That's not freedom of choice. That's more like mental slavery. And when we are able to cultivate the freedom of choice through acceptance, through allowance, right, having a disciplined mental outlook on life, we're much better abled to intuitively manage situations that would previously have baffled us, okay? How to intuitively manage a situation, we just know, because we are all innate wisdom-generating human beings, but we put too much attention on the content of the mind and the narrative of ourself because we are not self-disciplined. We don't have that outlook on life yet. Remember? I don't know. That is one way to intuitively manage a situation, because all of this stuff is quite baffling. Really, life is pretty baffling. So fostering the knowledge when our day begins. Okay, so sitting down, shutting up and listening, meditating, a little bit breath work, some journaling, reading this book, listening to, things that fill our soul, right? That open up portals of our soul, prayer, right? Unity, service, all of that at the beginning part of our day really helps us. What's it do? It helps us cultivate the freedom of choice. So in the present moment, when some a-hole cuts us off, or some person we don't agree with or align with, a person's actions, a place, people, places, and things, PPF as I call it, does not go according to plan. Okay? Nothing really goes according to plan. Is the most productive use of the time given to us to cultivate that, to to be able to have the freedom of choice in the moment where we can respond intuitively and not logically and rationally with certain things that fit the narrative of our self that we have created over time. And we expect everyone else to agree with this narrative of self. So we are projecting all of that onto others without even knowing it from a very subconscious viewpoint on life. And accept the challenging circumstances as they happen. Just accept them. It's easier said than done, my friends. I get it. I can be reactive at times. I can be reactive at times when there is a challenging situation and I am not handling it intuitively. I am like baffled by the situation and I am maybe obsessing around it. And I am getting myself out of it with simple practices that I have instilled from working on inner disposition. And that's what this is all about, is teaching y'all these simple tips, tricks. And if you'd like to learn more tips and tricks like this and amplify them with microdosing to develop more of an intuitive outlook on life and an intuitive way of living, you can join us. Would love to have you. In learning how to let go of the reactive states of mind, the majority of us have an overdeveloped reactive mind and an underdeveloped receptive mind. Let me say that again. The majority of us have this very overdeveloped reactive mind, the content, the narrative, the storytelling, and a very, very underdeveloped receptive mind, right? Receptive, like receive, right? When we receive something, what do? We open, okay? We open our heart, we open our mind, we open our home, right? We sit down at a table, we receive the food brought to us, okay? Receive the glass of water. We receive the coffee that is made for us. Okay, we receive our mail. Okay, we receive. We are open. Okay, we're not reactive to that. No, I don't want that. No, I don't want that beautiful plate of food. No, I don't want that like delicious tasting coffee. Okay, we were receiving. Why can't we do that with our life and our mental frameworks and our emotional stability? It's very hard for us because we have an overdeveloped reactive mind that we are playing out into the world, right? The world is just like everyone projecting all their stuff on us from this overdeveloped reactiveness. But we need to practice. How do we get out of it? We have to practice cultivating more present moment awareness and understand that the reactive state of mind is just triggers from unresolved past circumstances trying to repeat itself. And we're not always afraid of the future, my friends. It's usually this unconscious, subconscious kind of thorn where we are afraid, fear, false evidence appearing real, of the past repeating itself in the moment that is given to us. So we need to develop more intuitive awareness, and that is hence why we have that 90-day journey back to you. Self-awareness achieved. We can do anything that we want in this world if we cultivate self-awareness and bring more self-awareness to ourselves. It is a very, very powerful and much overlooked ally in our life. So thank you all for listening for week 9. This finishes up week 9. I'd love to hear from you all. And again, it is my pleasure and absolute gratitude to be able to improvise and riff on these passages. I learn something new every time I read them. I hope you are all learning something too. And again, your feedback is absolutely welcomed. Have a beautiful day, a beautiful week, and a beautiful life. Cheers.